What if nothing is actually wrong with you? What if the reason you still feel the same isn't because you haven't tried hard enough, but because you keep the same things alive in your head, same memories, same definitions of success, same grudges, same fears, different year, same internal layout, and you keep asking a quiet question you don't say out loud. Why does nothing really change? You read, you listen, you reflect, you know the language now. You can explain yourself clearly. You understand your patterns. And yet, your reactions are familiar. Your stress feels recycled. Your relationships follow a recognizable arc. At work, the titles change. The pressure doesn't. In relationships, the faces change. The conflicts don't. In private moments, you feel informed, but not lighter. There's a strange fatigue that comes from self-awareness without movement. You're not confused anymore. You're just tired. And somewhere underneath that tiredness is a quiet suspicion. Maybe all this effort is circling the same center. Here's something rarely said plainly. Your sense of who you are isn't a core. It's an accumulation. Stories you remember, things you want, things you refuse to forget. That's what introduces itself when someone asks who you are. Another thing that's uncomfortable. Nothing stays in memory by accident. If a moment keeps replaying, it's doing a job. If an old injury stays active, it has a use. It protects something. It justifies something. This is why insight alone doesn't disrupt much. Understanding doesn't remove attachment. It often strengthens it. Language gives structure to what was already there. Labels can turn habits into identities. And then there's the idea that effort equals change. It sounds reasonable. It feels responsible. But effort that leaves priorities untouched only stabilizes the current setup. You can add practices. You can add routines. You can add awareness. If nothing is removed, nothing fundamental shifts. Another uncomfortable point. The past doesn't control you because it happened. It controls you because it's kept active. The replay is current. The storage is current. The maintenance is current. And finally, internal change doesn't float free from external structure. What you keep around you quietly reinforces what stays inside. Take work. Someone leaves a job saying they were burned out. They land somewhere new. Same hours, same metrics, same pressure to perform. They say the environment changed. Their body says otherwise. Or relationships. Someone says they've grown emotionally, but they still choose the same dynamic. Distance, intensity, control. The vocabulary is updated. The emotional geometry is not. Therapy can become another place where identity settles. Sessions revolve around explaining behavior instead of loosening it. Insight becomes a residence, not a passage. Then there's self-help culture. Morning routines stacked carefully, apps tracking calm, books explaining why things hurt, everything added, nothing released. Even pain can become functional. Old resentment can feel like evidence, proof that you were wronged, proof that your reactions make sense. Letting it go feels less like healing, more like losing a case you've been building for years. Social media adds another layer. Your personality becomes a consistent output. Your opinions stabilize. Your past statements lock you in place. Changing too much feels risky. People expect continuity, so you comply, quietly. And the strange part is this. From the outside, everything looks fine, productive, reflective, aware. From the inside, it feels static. There's a common fantasy that one realization fixes things. That one clear moment reorganizes the whole system. But most days don't work like that. They accumulate. They reinforce. What remains is not always what's true. It's what's held. And that leaves a question hanging. Not one that needs answering right now. Just one that sits there. If nothing in your inner world is allowed to leave, what exactly is supposed to arrive? No resolution here. Just the observation. The same inputs tend to produce the same shape. And most people aren't stuck because they're incapable. They're stuck because they're consistent.